to share this information. This is already 23 years, or already 24th year. I'm in healthcare. Graduated as a medical doctor. I had some internships in Rome, in Italy, in Copenhagen, in Denmark, and I worked in several hospitals in traumatology and neurosurgery, and so on. And afterwards, I was establishing my own private clinics for 6 years. I had 150 doctors and nurses working for me in the clinics. But later on, I felt I have to move on, and I have to do something which seemed to me might be even more important than being a doctor, is a preventative healthcare. Because our societies today, Western societies, are no longer healthy. We cannot call them healthy. And that's a big, big issue. And not too many structures work as a preventative healthcare professionally. So well, let me start with that everyone, people, every one of us, we want to be healthy. We want to feel good, and we want to stay fit. At the same time, health-related problems are increasing in the world, and it's really time to ask why. It's time to ask, and that's not a rhetorical question. That's what we should really ask, especially as doctors also. What's going on? Why is it happening? And well, Hippocrates, before Christ, he said that let your food be your medicine, your first medicine. So what exactly did he say? He said that if anyone is ill, if a society is ill, first, don't go to the pharmacy or to the doctor. First, check what you are eating. And that's a big issue, because this is no longer the case that we are eating healthy. Well, in the past, like thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago, we used to eat what Mother Nature created. So the food was full of vitamins and minerals and phyto and micronutrients, beta-glucans, fibers, healthy fats, good balance between omega-6s and omega-3s. Today, it's man-made food. What does that mean? Well, it's less nutrient density in the food, in the fruits, in the vegetables. It's high in sugars. There are new apples who taste well, and new pears and new fruits that there is plenty of sugar in them. And there's many empty calories in all those cakes and candies and bars for kids and breakfast for kids and so on. And less fibers, less healthy fats, more unhealthy fats, overheated or other types of fats that we shouldn't be eating. And the big imbalance between omega-6s and omega-3s. So now, why is that so important? Well, if we divide food into two big parts. First, as a calorie, so every food could be seen as calories that we burn to exert, to do physical exertion, or for our organs to work. But there is another big group of food that we should consider as building blocks of our body. So when calories, so let's talk about two types of malnutrition. There is an A type of malnutrition where all the nutrients are lacking. And there is a B type of malnutrition where there is imbalance of the nutrients. So in the A type of malnutrition, lack of all the nutrients, this is what we see in Africa or during the war. So people have nothing to eat or very little to eat. They become skinny, and that's the symptom. Now, B-type malnutrition is today us, every one of us in Western societies, right? In big cities. Why is that so? Well, we eat way too much of some ingredients and way too little of some other ingredients, like omega-3s. We all know that almost everyone on this planet is lacking omega-3s, which is a malnutrition, and fiber and antioxidants and phytonutrients and micronutrients and many nutrients that we are lacking. And if you do blood testing, you will see that in the blood tests of many people, close to almost everyone. And also you will see that there is overeating, right? Overnutrition of some other ingredients like sugars, omega-6s, and unhealthy fats, and maybe some more. So this is B-type malnutrition, looks like us. It doesn't look like skinny. Sometimes it even looks a bit too big body weight, because unbalanced food is full of calories and lacks building blocks of the body. And why is that so important? Well, over one night or over 1 week, that would not be that important. And that's the mistake that people make. They eat that B-type food, and in a week, they still feel quite okay, because the consequences come over time. It takes decades, it takes 10 years, 20 years for the symptoms to develop, because of the compensatory mechanisms in our bodies that are so powerful that they hide all of those changes that are already happening inside. But later, we see that when people get to their 40s or 50s, many parameters in the body are way out of norm, and symptoms begin to arise, and diseases begin to form. So this is the situation that has to be prevented beforehand. So now many people believe they are already doing whatever they have to do. They do some sport. They think they eat wealthy, they eat healthy, but that's not the truth. The tests show that this is not the truth, and the results show this is not the truth. Those who did sport, they also were hit by many of the chronic diseases and states later on in life, so, and end up in a hospital. Well, let's see what happened over time in history with one of the two groups of main building blocks of our body. Omega-6s and omega-3s are fats that our bodies do not produce, neither omega-6s nor omega-3s. We got to eat them in a right proportion. And that was the case in the past. Our DNA is programmed for 1-to-1 ratio. So if in our cells, if we take some cells from the body and measure, and we see that we have the same amount of omega-6s in the cell membrane as omega-3s, so it's 1-to-1 ratio, that means we are in a genetic norm. Now, many scientists believe that 3-to-1 is the last deviation, which I believe even stricter than that. I want to keep myself lower than 2-to-1. And why is that so important? Well, we could discuss, is it 2-to-1 or 3-to-1, but no one no longer discusses about over 4-to-1, because all the testing, all the studies show that when cells get over 4-to-1, they start making mistakes, many different mistakes. And it's about gene expression, it's about hormones that regulate blood pressure, it's about hormones that regulate blood clotting, it's about inflammation, it's about many processes. It's about cell membrane fluidity index. Many processes get impaired, they get out of norm, they get out of genetic norm. It's no longer what we are programmed for genetically. So what is the real situation today? In European Union, the ratio is 15-1 average. That is catastrophe. And that has the consequences, and we see them in public health. Now, in the United States, it's 25-1, or even worse. And kids, children in European Union also have close to 25-1 average. Why? Because they're eating more of the omega-6s and less of the omega-3s. It's very difficult with kids so that they would eat fish, but they like candies, they like everything what's made from grain, corn, or soy. So corn flakes, that would be their breakfast, what they like, right? And the bars, the sweet bars with nuts and everything in there. So, and it's also omega-6s. And they like meat. And meat, the cows, they are no longer eating grass as in the past, thousands of years ago. They're eating combined fed mixtures that are from corn, soy, and grain, because that's the cheapest source. And also with birds that are raised in farms, and also with fish that is raised in farms. So omega-6 is on the ground growing plants. They produce fats that are omega-6s. Omega-3s that our bodies are lacking is the sea fat that sea weeds produce. It's not what fish produces. Fish doesn't produce omega-3. Fish just eats omega-3 if it is growing wildly, not in the farm. But if it is growing in the farm, it eats omega-6 because it eats those feeding mixtures. So this is what we end up having. And those ratios are they are a bit different in different countries. Like in Scandinavia, it's about 12-1. In Baltics, it's about 14-1. In Germany, it's getting closer to 20-1, and so on. And I believe that in Philippines and India, and we have some tests already made, it might be 20-1 or worse. So what does that do to the body, and where can we find information about it, right? So first, the cell membrane fluidity index, that's one of the most important things, because if the ratio changes between omega-6s and omega-3s, the cell membrane fluidity lowers down, which means that all the nutrients get into the cell slower, and all the waste out of the cell gets slower, which in other words, that means that every cell in the body of those people with bad ratio is hungry, is starving, and is intoxicated a bit more than it should. So first, what we recommend is to return back to good ratio for the cell fluidity index to return back to normal. So this is one of the things. But let's check more of the things, what omega-3 does. This is Harvard School of Public Health. Here's what they say about what omega-3s do in our bodies. They are an integral part of cell membranes throughout the body that we already discussed. Affect the function of the cell receptors in these membranes. So, like insulin susceptibility could change. Many things could change because of the cell receptors changing their function. Now, starting point for making hormones that regulate blood clotting, contraction and relaxation of artery walls, which is a bad situation with many people over 50 years of age, and sometimes even 40. Inflammation. This is really changing the world today. Many people have consequences of slower or faster inflammation in their bodies. Now, regulate genetic function. which may end up very, very bad. Due to these effects, omega-3 fats have been shown, and you can read the rest. So this is what Harvard says, one of the most respected schools, medical schools in the world. Now, what does PubMed say? United States National Library of Medicine, National Institutes of Health. That's 2002, but the same information was issued one more time, 2008, and many scientific studies came after. Here's what it says. Excessive amounts of omega-6 polyunsaturated fatty acids and very high omega-6 to 3 ratio, as is found in today's Western diets, promote the pathogenesis of many diseases, including cardiovascular, cancer, and inflammatory, and autoimmune disease. In the secondary prevention of cardiovascular disease, a ratio of 4:1 was associated with a 70% decrease in mortality. This is something that really hits me as a doctor, and especially as a preventative healthcare professional today, because this is something we can change if we return people back to normal ratio, right? So, and it also says about inflammatory diseases, autoimmune, which, and what they say is increased levels of omega-3, low omega-6 to omega-3 ratio exert suppressive effects. So this is something I'm after in this very planet. I want to balance people back to lower than 3:1. And if you test yourself, you might see your result 15 or 20:1, and your children might be 25 or even 40 or even more to 1. That's not a good place to be. That's a danger zone. So are you in the danger zone? And how do you know? Well, there is a blood test, and more laboratories do this blood test. Now, don't confuse this blood test with all the other blood tests. This blood test could be compared to biopsy. Why? What we are measuring is not some supplement and what's in the supplement. It's not the fatty acids in fish fat or in the food that we eat. We are not measuring what's in the cholesterols and in all the other fatty acids that are in the blood. What we are measuring is erythrocytes. It's the cells. And what ended up to be a very interesting thing, that omega-6 to omega-3 ratio and omega-3 ratio in erythrocytes correlates with the ratios in all the other organs of the body. So if you find lack of omega-3 in erythrocyte, this is most probably that your brain is also lacking omega-3, and your heart and your arteries and your kidneys and every organ in your body is lacking and has the same omega-6 to omega-3 ratio as erythrocytes. So this is a very precise test. It shows exactly where you are, and it shows what you ate for the last close to 6 months, 4 to 6 months. So because the cells, erythrocytes, are created every day and they die every day, and the time that they live is close to 120 days. That's 4 months. So if you change your diet, if you include more omega-3s, the right omega-3s in your diet, you should be testing the test after 4 to 6 months to see the results in erythrocytes, and that would correlate to the whole body. Now, we have already made 550,000 balance tests so far, all around the world, and this is the biggest database of those tests on the planet. I could bet probably that the next closest number of the next biggest database could be like 15,000 or 20,000 max. So this is a huge study that we are doing, and huge change that we are doing with those that were tested. Now, Where do we do the tests? It's an independent laboratory, and that's very important for us. We want to monitor everyone who is not taking omega-3 supplements. We want to monitor those who are taking all the different omega-3 supplements in all the markets, and we want to monitor ourselves, and we want it objectively. That's why we use an independent laboratory to check and measure all of those numbers. So what we do, we just buy wholesale of tests from the laboratory, and we do retail. So we are intermediate structure between the laboratory and the customer. So that's our function with the test. And the most important thing here is to be objective and to see what's the real situation and what then can we change. So in Vitas Analytical Services in Norway, many respected schools and universities and scientists do testing. So it's a big laboratory. Stanford, Harvard, Cambridge, King's College London, many others do their testing there. And we are just one of the customers. Now, what can you see in the test report? That's very important because more and more laboratories do this test, but test reports are very small and they show very little in most of those laboratories. What I've seen so far. In Vitas laboratory, we get very thorough analysis of fatty acids. It's 11 different fatty acids and many different ratios and many different parameters that we get from this laboratory. And that's why we choose that laboratory. So omega-6 to omega-3 balance, that's one of the ratios that you get. The second one is your protection value. What would that mean? That would mean something we read in PubMed, and we can read in many other scientific studies. So if the ratios are bad, we are not protected from the consequences. And the better are the ratios, the better we are protected. So there is a ratio from 0 to 100%, and you can check your ratio. Now, omega-3 index, that shows how much omega-3 you have from 100% norm. So is it 30%? Sometimes it's 13% from 100. Sometimes it's close to 50, like 40 or 45. So, and if you start changing with balance oil, what Zinzino came to develop, then you get back to 100. Now, mental strength index, that omega-3s are very important in the brain, in central nervous system. And mental strength means that people who lack omega-3s, their brains have difficulty to function normally, and they use more time to make decisions, they do more mistakes, they get tired fast, and that was tested on the computers. And if you balance the same person back to normal, they tend to make decisions faster, they tend to do less mistakes, and they are much longer doing the work without enlarging the number of mistakes. So, and membrane fluidity index that we already talked about. Now, on the right corner, or right lower corner, you see my own personal results. And before means in 2012, I've done my first blood testing, and it showed 11 to 1 and only 44% of omega-3 from 100. And keeping in mind that I was taking omega-3 supplements and some of the expensive ones on the market, and I believed that they were helping me, but that was not the case. Maybe they helped me a couple percent, but clinically speaking, it was very low change, very little change. So after I started working with Zinzino balance oil, I returned back to 1.6 to 1 and 100% of omega-3. And I am retesting myself every single year. Why? Because my age is changing. My physical exertion is changing. My diet is changing. I used to travel a lot, and now I don't travel that much, as you understand these days with all those lockdowns and quarantines. So everything is changing, and I'm not sure I'm still in the same balance the next year. So this year, this ratios that you see is about 1 month ago. So I'm happy I'm still in the safe zone, and that's what I recommend to you. Now, you can see the progress. You can check before. You can use whatever omega-3 supplement. You can eat a lot of fish and retest and get retested in 4 to 6 months. And you will see it's not that easy to return yourself back to normal ratios. And that is the reason is the fish that is no longer the same quality as it should be. And supplements, we will be talking about the supplements right now. They are not close to not working. They are very badly designed. So let's see. 95% of Europeans failed the test. 98% of Australians and 99% of all the people tested in the United States failed the test. The test showed red. Now, those who were taking omega-3 supplements, they failed the test. And that's 7-1 is only in Scandinavia. In the Baltics, it's 10-1 for those who were taking omega-3 supplements. And in the United States, it's sometimes 20 or 15-1, those who were taking omega-3 supplements. So what's wrong with the supplements? And the biggest question is, so what can we do to fix this problem? And this is also not a rhetorical question. That's a very question to you today, and to me, and to us together. So what can we, you and us, change in this world, or at least in your own family, or at least in your own town, or maybe in your country, or maybe in more countries around the globe? So how do we solve this problem? And here's what Zinzino came up with. The big group of scientists, Paul Clayton, Dr. Paul Clayton, he's from Oxford, from United Kingdom, Ola Eide from Norway, Angela Rizzo, Dr. Angela Rizzo is from Italy, and Dr. Abraham, and many more doctors and scientists worked on this. And here's what they came up with, that nutrition, up till this moment, that they offered a different path. Nutrition was a guess-based. What would that mean, a guess-based nutrition? That means that many people, let's say about omega-3 supplements, they were taking omega-3 supplements, but were never tested. What was the change? What did they achieve? And that's a guess-based nutrition. They were guessing that those omega-3s were working for them, and they were not. So what those scientists offered, they offered something different that never existed before, which is called test-based nutrition, where everything is measured, what we are doing, not just discussed. Now, if you gather 5 or more omega-3 salesmen in the market of different omega-3s, they would be telling you that their omega-3 is the best. And they would be hitting their chest that what they do is the best, the finest, and that will help you the most. And that is a guess-based nutrition, because they never tested it. They just believe in it and they sell it. Or maybe some of them don't even believe in that. So now what we do is test it. And all the discussions or the philosophy in a bad sense of way is a way. We are objective in that. We know we helped or we didn't. And that came to the point. So they were creating the supplement and retesting and creating and retesting until they found the formula that really works. that really returns people back to normal, and then we can retest it in an independent laboratory or in any other laboratory, if you will. So what is the supplement that returns people back to 6:3, omega-6 to 3 ratio in 120 days? It's called balance oil. And the most important ingredient in this supplement, surprisingly, is not omega-3. That's a very interesting thing. Omega-3 supplement, and the most important ingredient is not omega-3. So what is it? Well, it turns out that omega-3s, seaweed produces omega-3. It's down in the water where there is very little oxygen and very low temperature, plus 2-3 Celsius. So omega-3s are very sensitive to air, to oxidation, and to temperature, and to sunlight. So if omega-3s are exposed to some of those, to temperatures, to oxygen, and to sunlight, they spoil over very little time, in hundredths of a second or in seconds. So the antioxidant is the substance that protects omega-3 from this process. So antioxidant is more important than omega-3, because if your antioxidant is too weak to protect your omega-3s inside the body, they will spoil and you will not get the benefits. So it's not, the benefits come not from taking the supplement or eating fish. The benefits come from your cells getting the omega-3s and returning back to normal ratios. So if the supplement doesn't return you, if the omega-3s spoil, you never return back to normal ratios and you never get the results that you are after. So polyphenols, that's what those scientists came up with. Polyphenols, they are in many sources of food. You can investigate that. But in olives, there are very powerful polyphenols that can protect fats from oxidation, even in quite high temperature. I mean, body temperature, right? Because body temperature is not refrigerator temperature or even room temperature. It's 36 or 37 degrees Celsius. And in that temperature, you need a very powerful antioxidant so that omega-3 would not spoil. Now, polyphenols worked, and you will see the slide a bit later. Now, talking about omega-3. Omega-3s is a very high dose in balance oil. It's a building material, omega-3s, building material of your cell membranes. So if you get a very little amount, this will not return your cells back to normal. You need a lot for a big body. You need lower amount for a small body. So it's dosed by body weight. So you need to dose it correctly, the omega-3s. And what I came up to see in my practice, that I need 5,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA every single day so that my ratios would be back to green zone. Well, maybe it is because I do a lot of sport, I run a lot, and sometimes I run 50 kilometers per week. So this is quite a big physical exertion. And maybe I burn part of those omega-3s instead of using them as a building blocks. So I need 5,000, but most of the people, they need close to 3,000-4,000 milligrams. And if you check all the supplements on the market, you will see that most of the supplements are not even close to this. They are giving people 250 milligrams, which is 1/20th of what I need. Or it's 750 or 1,000, 1,600, but not more than that. So which is, well, what I would say is imitating that they are doing something, not really changing the world. So vitamin D3 is also in balance oil, and vitamin E, and no oxidation is happening with this product. Now, even this product could not help everyone. So there is a second generation product, which is called Aquex. It's soluble in water. What that happens with substances, natural substances. They are not synthetic. They're natural from certain plants that grow on the ground. The same ingredients are in eggs. It's emulsifiers. That's something. Emulsifiers is a substance that can dissolve fats in liquids, in water. So with emulsifiers, absorption is even better. Even more people get back to good ratios. Now there is third generation vegan, or more and more people become vegan these days. And we ended up producing omega-3 balance oil directly from seaweeds, and also capsules. They are more used in the United States or with people who are traveling a lot and don't use refrigerator. So, well, now we have all of those certificates, and we came to the point where it makes me laugh or smile a bit about the certificates, because there are more and more of them on this planet, and they don't mean that much to me anymore. But we still are getting all of those certificates. Now, this is one of the most important slides about oxidation. About so how do you keep omega-3 fresh and potent? So if you protect it from oxidation. Now here's krill oil, and that's a study that's done with Sintef, the Norwegian huge research company, an independent research company, right? So krill oils are very marketed aggressively in many markets in the United States. They were oxidized, the omega-3s were oxidized inside the body in 5 hours. This is not even crossing the stomach barrier sometimes. So it's in the stomach or in the gut, in the very beginning of the gut. So it's not a good product. Now, concentrated omega-3s. They're very attractive because the price is good. The concentration, sometimes the dosage is quite high. Sometimes it's 1,000, 1,600 milligrams per day. That's what they offer. It oxidized in 9 hours, which means that, in the stomach and in the gut. Now, cod liver oil is very widely used as an omega-3 supplement, oxidized in 15 hours. And that might be even dangerous. Why? In 15 hours, omega-3s are not yet imprinted in the cells, but already in your bloodstream, in your liver, somewhere inside your system. So if they oxidize on the way in your liver or in your vessels, blood vessels, that's not something I would like for myself. So I'm avoiding those products, and I don't recommend them to anyone. Now, balance oil with polyphenols. In 35 hours, the experiment was discontinued because it's already, omega-3s are already imprinted in your cells. Well, that maybe it would be fresh for another 30, 60, whatever hours, but there's no need to check that anymore. So this is the case. This is why when I do testing, here's the people who, some of them, they were taking omega-3 supplements with vitamin E as an antioxidant, and their tests were red. Once they started on omega-3 with polyphenols, the tests became green. Or if they took too little of it, because they wanted to save some money, well, the tests came still with many yellow dots. Now, one more time. So two things are important about omega-3 supplements. And number one is antioxidant. If it's polyphenols, then it's good. And second is dosage. If it's 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams, it's good. Okay, let's move on further. So you can return yourself and your customers and your family back to good ratios in 120 days with Zinzino, produced balance oil or capsules or vegan oil. Now, who should be interested in that? Is there anyone who is not affected by lack of omega-3? And the answer is no. Everyone needs it. Those who are not born yet or just born, those who are growing as kids, those who are adults, and the elderly. And there are many, many benefits and health claims that we can claim. Brain function, immune function, growth, reproduction function, skin, hair, nails, heart and cardiovascular health, and joints, bone structure, and many, many more. And here's EFSA, European Food Safety Authority. And now, one more time, the most important thing is those health claims are only for those who returned back to good ratios. These health claims do not fit to those who were taking some supplement that was helping very little. So if you want those health claims to be for you, you got to retest and test with the green ratios. And then this is what happens with your body. So if you're returned back to normal ratios, this helps your normal brain function, this helps your heart normal function, normal immune function, normal vision, normal teeth, normal bone structure, and many, many, many other things. Normal blood cholesterol, lower, reduced, and so on. You can read all of those, you can Google those. Many sport people already noticed that this is something they also need. And many Olympic athletes and other athletes are already using what Zinzino is producing and testing themselves. Now, we just covered two of the main building and protecting blocks of the body. That is omega-6, omega-3 ratio and polyphenols, the antioxidants. So what's next? The next is prebiotic fiber. What is that? Well, in our large intestine, there are good bacteria, gram-positive, and bad bacteria, gram-negative, as you know. Now, how do we solve the riddle of having only good bacteria, only gram-positive bacteria in the gut? And many sales structures recommend live bacteria, probiotics, which I'm a bit skeptical about because people are lacking prebiotic fibers. They are lacking something in the food that those good bacteria eat. And if they have nothing to eat, if they lack the nutrients they need, they are dying. They are starving and dying, and nothing will help. The bad bacteria will grow if people lack prebiotic fiber in their diet. And this is what all the health organizations say, that we are taking, we are using, we are eating only 1/4 of the prebiotic fibers that we need in our modern diet. So it's only 1/4 of the food for the good gram-positive bacteria. With this situation, it is close to impossible to solve that. So what we recommend is different types of prebiotic fiber. It's fructooligosaccharides, it's inulin, it's beta-glucans, and resistant starch. And you need 5 different groups, 5 different formula of prebiotic fiber to solve that, so that the whole large intestine would be covered. So we ended up producing Xenobiotic. Xenobiotic is a blend of all the 5 main prebiotic fibers, and you can have a hard time to find another supplement on the market of prebiotic fiber that would have all the 5 prebiotic fibers. So this is the third thing that we have to fix in the diets of people. As today, I want to remind that our subject today is returning people back to normal before even problems arise, or returning people back to normal when they already have the symptoms. And so the third thing is prebiotic fiber. The fourth is we lack many micro and phytonutrients. And I will not give another lecture about that, because that would take probably another day to discuss all the ingredients that are in this supplement. Well, and it influences immune system, it influences joint health, it influences all the structures, organs, and functions of our body. So that is called extend. And people who understand about vitamins, they say this is a Rolls-Royce or in multivitamin and mineral and phyto and micronutrient industry. So this is something very, very respected in Scandinavia now, and in Baltics, and in the United States and many other markets. So, and we asked a simple way to explain what it is, because it's easy to explain what is omega-3 and polyphenol mixture. It's easy to explain what is prebiotic fiber blend, but it's a bit more difficult to explain what is extend. But here it comes. We got this visualization of what it is. So 4 capsules of extend equals 9 kilograms of fresh vegetables, fruits, seeds, and many other nutrients from plants. So it's 9 kilograms of all the active ingredients that were there. So the water is out of there, the proteins are out, it's just the active micronutrients. This is something really amazing. And when I started taking those extend capsules, my health changed quite drastically. And I was already taking balance oil for several years. So, okay, the next one is beta-glucans, 1316 beta-glucans. And I would strongly suggest you to Google and to find what it is. It helps immune system. The best way probably is to find on YouTube 1,3 minus 1,6 beta glucans. You can check and you can find Wellmune and what it does in the body with the immune system. It enhances the function of the immune system, which might be very important these days. Now, we already covered the first 4. Now, the 5th one in my own recommendations is physical exertion. And what I do is 2 things. I run and I do Pilates. And I will not stop for a long time here. Well, running helps to keep my fitness of my heart and of my muscles and my cardiovascular circulatory system and many other organs and so on. But Pilates helps me to balance back the muscles and to have a good balance around all the joints and around my spinal cord and so it is, both of those are very important for me, and that's what I recommend. Now, many sport people started using what Zinzino uses. So sport needs also good balance of food, right? So overweight correction, that's something we started working with also. We ended up producing the shake that has many building blocks of the body, but very low calories. So the more a person eats of the lean shake, the more that person is out of the unbalanced eating. So means they start unbalanced eating is very high calories, very low nutrient density, constructive materials of the body. In that case, if people tend to use that type of food, they get hungry very fast because they eat too much calories, they produce fat out of it, but they lack the nutrients that they need to rebuild the body. So the hunger comes back. And if they make the wrong choice again, the hunger comes back and it comes back and it comes back. And they are in that vicious circle. Now with the lean shake, it's the opposite thing around. It's very low calories, very high nutrient density. So if they eat this, they are not lacking calories. They are lacking building blocks. When they get those building blocks, they say, oh, the body says, oh, I feel satiant now. I'm not hungry anymore. I don't want to eat. So, and this is natural. This is not, no chemistry here. It's all the natural ingredients. It's just very high nutrient density, very low calories. The more you eat of it, the faster you lose your weight. Because you lack calories, you got to burn your own fat. This is very simple. Now, another thing that we started working with is emotion management, which is also very, very important. Well, many people are stressed out. Today's life is much more stressful than in the past. Probably not talking about all the human history, but this is a long-term stress that people face, and with bad nutrition, they end up sleeping badly. They end up with poor emotion management. And Viva is made from saffron, and in saffron there are several very good active ingredients. And there's no adverse effects whatsoever, but it improves sleep, it improves emotions, so it normal regulates. And I like, this is almost poetic to say that it is a spa for the mind. So this is Viva. Now next thing that we want to protect in people's bodies is skin. And skin serum has many active ingredients. It has protective ingredients, it has the restoring ingredients, and it has some cosmetic ingredients that make your skin glowing and looking healthier and nicer. And that's actually not a vanity product. That's not just about you looking good. This is something about skin health, because it has to be protected from sunlight and many other bad influences, like conditioned air, which make skin dry, and so on and on and on. And pollution in the cities, that also, we need to protect the skin, especially the one that's not covered with clothes. So this is what we ended up doing also. And now one more thing, what we recommend is to fix that we don't do ourselves. So in this list, physical exertion is what we leave to the customer on their own, and the periodontal inflammation. That will also affect people's health very, very much, because periodontal inflammation may end up being a very, very big problem with the brain functions or with the heart infection or whatever. So this is the 10th, one of the 10 things I strongly recommend. So now let's sum it up. Most of the people do too many unhealthy choices, and that's a choice today. That's no longer, that's no one forces them to do that. Sometimes they don't know, then it's not a choice. That's our job, to inform them about it, to educate them about omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, about polyphenols, about prebiotic fiber, micronutrients, physical exertion, lowering sugars, not keeping themselves in overweight, lowering poison consumption like smoking or alcohol and so on, and managing emotions better, and protecting their skin and fixing their periodontal situation. Now, the strange thing is it very difficult to do? Why so many people, close to 100%, are doing one or more or even all of those bad choices? Why is it so? Is it difficult? Is it expensive? Is it time consuming? What's the problem? And what I came up with, even when I educate people about it, 8 out of 10 believe they already do that or already know it. And that's not the truth, because when we test it, we see that this is not true. So let's start from ourselves. Do you already know all of it? Probably yes, as we are talking to doctors today. Do you already do all of it? That's a big question. And that's something you got to be honest with yourself. Do you walk the talk? Do you achieve the results, and do you test the results? So that's what I'm inviting you to join me on, to be testing the results and to be walking the talk, to be doing it in reality and returning back to good choices. So, and for the customers that I'm talking to, after all this information, they say, oh my, this is so much information. Our heads are swollen and we have no clue what to start with. So then I have several very simple guidelines. What shall I do with all of this information? First, get balance tested. Get yourself tested and see your scores. Omega-6 to omega-3s are so important that this is impossible to even stress it out well enough. It just has to be done. So then, second, it's either plan A, plan B, or plan C. Plan A is start with all the health protocol, which is balance oil, xenobiotic, prebiotic fiber, and extend. There is nothing in those three. Everything in those three is something you need. There's nothing your body doesn't need. And in most probably, all the three is lacking in your body. So take the whole health protocol if you can. Now, if there is no chance, if the finances are limited or some other restrictions, then start with balance oil and extend or xenobiotic. So take the 2 out of the 3. And plan C is just starting with balance oil and at least balancing your fatty acids back to normal. And then the third, get retested. Check if you really return back to normal ratios in 4 to 6 months. So this is the simple guidelines. Get tested, take health protocol, and get retested 4 to 6 months later. So this is the words that I say to myself, and that's what I recommend to everyone. Make healthy choices. Make more and more of the healthy choices. That's contagious. The more healthy choices I do, the more of them I want to do because that feels so good. Keep testing the results. Don't just talk about it. Don't just be scientific about it. Test, 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 test. Thank you so very much for helping me to share this very, very important information and the way back to the norm.
Hello and welcome. My part is to present the business opportunity for health professionals from Bosnia-Herzegovina. So I welcome you. So the question is, how can you be part of a worldwide growing company with a great product portfolio, with great visions, great ethics, and a company that likes to give back to our communities through charity and good health? So the claim is, let's inspire change in life. So what is the meaning? So now, as we look at the business potential, remember that any business is only as good as its products. And Zinzino has the most advanced product portfolio in the world. So let's find out a little more about the company. Zinzino is a worldwide growing company since 2005. Zinzino is registered in more than 40 countries today. And by 2025, we aim to open 60 more countries for business. Zinzino as a company has a very strong financial foundation. It is listed in Nasdaq First North stock market. It's time to make a decision. So how can you start your health business? You can start your business by selecting a partner kit. There are several packages: Mini Balance Partner Kit and Better Balance Partner Kit. So you will learn the products in real. Then we sign up to a monthly auto order. In that we get a monthly product. We get a complete training system in the GoCore app. We get a powerful back office from Zinzino. And we get a mobile app to do business with. And as soon as you get started, you can set your goals to achieve your dreams. I recommend you to get 4 customers as fast as possible, because then you get your auto order for free. You don't have any business costs, so the whole business is for free this way. So how you will get 4 customers? You, as a doctor, you meet patients every day. You can recommend the products to your patients. As soon as you recommend Zinzino products to your patients can visit website zinzino.com and can order all products they are needing. So they are ordering online, so you don't have to sell them the products one-to-one. This is great. During the sales process, the patients will get asked from the Zinzino homepage who has recommended them. They will type in their doctor's name. This will be your name. In this way, Zinzino can assign customers to you and you will get paid. This is the easiest way on how to get paid as a Zinzino partner. There are a lot of other ideas for doctors on how to get customers, like holding lectures for patients. Or you can use social media. I will tell more about later. Some doctors work full-time with Zinzino, but most of the people start part-time. So you can choose if you want to do it as a hobby or a side business or full-time. You can work 1 hour a year or 40 hours a week. It is totally up to you. After all, we are all independent partners of Zinzino. You can work from the comfort of your home. There are many ways to communicate over the internet from home. Social media have also become respected and established platforms for doctors to give advice to patients. So, wherever you are in the world, you can carry your business around in your pocket with your mobile phone, for example. And the best part is you can choose the people you want to work with, the people you trust, the people you can have fun with, and the people you care for. So you can choose with who you want to work, from where you want to work, and for how long you want to work. And together we can create residual income, also known as royalty income. Who can earn royalty income? Normally only authors, singers, and software developers can earn royalty income. And the good news is now even a doctor can start as a Zinzino partner and can earn royalty income. For a job today, you get paid for it every month, every year for life, because all customers you will find, they will stay your customers and they need the oil every day. You not only will win one customer. Over the time you will get more and more and more customers, and your income will rise and rise and rise. Also, you have the choice to talk about the business opportunity to other doctors. So this way, you and your team can create a big royalty income for your future. There are many ways to earn money with Zinzino. If you want to build a customer base, you don't have to change yourself. Just be yourself. Reach out to your patients, to your customers, and share the product info. And if you want to build a team, again, you don't have to change anything in yourself. Just be yourself, but share the business opportunity. And as a result, you get paid in 10 different ways. Cash bonus, fast start bonus, and the list goes on. But my favorite is phone bonus of 200 euros each month when you reach the level of executive, and the car bonus of 1,000 euros each month when you reach the level of diamond in the career ladder with Zinzino. Choose the level that fascinates you the most. You can be at the bottom, or you can move up from executive to diamond to crown to royal crown ambassador, or even a global president. It's all up to yourself. Business is all about timing. Zinzino started back in 2005. By 2010, Zinzino had 10,000 customers. Then by 2015, Zinzino grew to 84,000 customers. Today in 2021, Zinzino has over 700,000 customers with 37 open markets. And by 2025, Zinzino aims to reach a customer base of 1 million customers with 60 open markets to do business in. And by 2035, Zinzino aims to reach 20 million customers worldwide with close to 100 open markets to do business in. And reaching the turnover of 8 billion euros, and by 2050, company aims to build a customer base of 100 million customers all around the world with 40 billion euro turnover. You can choose to become a customer and get the health benefits, or you can also choose to become a partner to get the health benefits and also the financial benefits. As a doctor, make your dreams come true. Become a Zinzino partner or a Zinzino customer and enjoy a healthy, wealthy, and a happy life. Just get into contact to the person who has sent you this video, and he will help you to register at Zinzino as a doctor. So I wish you a lot of success.
Thank you very much. It was fantastic presentation. I'm so glad I invited you today. And thank you very much, everyone, for watching it. And refer to the person who invited to watch you this presentation today or later on for all the information you would like to get about the products or about the ratios or about anything from this presentation. Have a great day, whatever in the world you are, and let's make the balance, the world more in balance. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.